Hi guys, welcome back to another video. I know this scenery is a little bit different. I'm sorry if it's a little bit dark. I wanted to make the video in my apartment. I'm kind of setting up an area to make videos, but my chair didn't come yet and the rest of my stuff didn't come yet, so you'll have to wait till next week for a video in my room. I wanted to use the balcony, but when I went out there, because we're kind of near a highway, so it's like so much noise outside, like I couldn't even hear myself. So I was like, you know what, let me go drive around, because I thought about the garage too, but it's too dark down there. So I was just like, okay, let me go drive around real quick and see what's out there. And then I looked down the street and I'm like, oh, that's a quiet little area. So I drive down here and well, basically all that's down here really is just it's a homeless guy sleeping out there right now, and then this guy just stopped in front of me. He looks like he's leaving now. He's on his bike. I'm not sure where he's going. Bro, this man is like really down there taking a piss. It's like this man on his bike, he's just taking a piss. For my video today, I wanted to talk about my little car accident. I know I actually didn't tell a lot of people about it, and so today I guess I'll talk about the car accident a little bit. I know after my last video, a lot of people were reaching out and were really worried, and I don't like to worry people. So I'm just gonna make this video to let y'all know that I'm okay. I'm okay, and I just want to talk about how thankful I am for life and for the powers that be, God, whomever, who chose to give me another chance. Sorry guys, my camera died. I wind the window down to get some air and it smells like straight piss out here. Yeah, not the best place to come make a video, especially because it's hotter than normal right now. But yeah, as far as the accident goes, it was on the highway at near mile marker 170 on the Florida Turnpike. And if you are from Florida or you've driven down on the Florida Turnpike, you know that right now they're doing a lot of construction, and also there is a portion of the highway where the roads are kind of like this. So one side of the road is like this, right? And then when you try to switch lane, you know, the road is like this. So one side is up here and then the other side is down here. And when I was going down in the daytime, right, on the Saturday morning, I remember the car slipping on that road, that same road as I was trying to switch lanes. So I knew coming back up, especially because it was nighttime and the roads were wet because it's been raining like the whole weekend. It was on and off raining, so I knew like I had to be careful driving back to the airport area because of the condition of how the road was. So I thought I was driving very careful, but I guess as I was coming up on that curve, and I don't know, I guess I didn't know it was a curve there, right? That was number one, because the only thing you could see on the road, the only thing I could see, I should say, was basically the lights in front, right? That's the only area you could really see, because the road, there's like literally no light on that turnpike. Like, it don't make no sense why it's so dark out there. That was number one. And number two, the roads being uneven. So as I was trying to switch lanes, my car slipped on that switch of the lane. The only difference this time was it wasn't daytime, right? That was number one. And number two, it wasn't a straight road, so it was a curve. So when my car slipped, and you know you're trying to have control of it, it goes off on the curve. And so my car went off on the curve. Next thing I know, I'm in like the grassy area. I'm trying to control the car. Next thing I know, I see this huge orange sign. I'm not sure if it said uneven road or what, because they had a couple of those signs as you're driving. I saw red, I thought it was the end. Next thing I know, I hit the sign as I'm trying to control the car, so my hands are still on the steering wheel, because you know I'm fully functional. I'm trying to control it, I'm trying to stop the car won't stop. So I'm, even with my foot on the brakes, it wouldn't stop. So I'm like holding on for dear life. I hit the sign. I don't know where the sign went. I don't know if it fell flat or if it flew in the air, but I thought that would have been the end. All I knew is that the airbags blew up and the car kept going and it was spinning. And all I kept thinking was, please don't turn over. I thought the car was gonna flip over because it just wouldn't stop. And even as the airbags exploded and everything, I still was holding on to the car like this. Like, I still was holding on for dear life. Next thing I know, the car was spinning. Next thing I know, the car finally hit the railing. And then as the car was spinning and stuff too, I could see the cars on the other side of the road, but I didn't realize that there was a railing there to stop me from like going over to the other side. So it's a good thing the railing was there, which then stopped the car. Car finally stopped. There was a truck not far back from me, so I saw the truck slow down ahead of me, like in front of me, not too far from me I should say. Saw the truck slow down, the truck stopped, so I thought the guy was gonna like come out and help me get out the car, but then it's like he wasn't moving. He just stopped the car. He just like slowed down the truck basically, and then the truck stopped, but he didn't come out the truck. So I'm like, okay, how I'm gonna get out this damn car, because the airbags were everywhere. The one in front of me popped, the ones on the side were blown up, and they were blocking, like, you see how this has this little latch here? So the airbags were blocking the latch to open the car. So I didn't know how to get out the car, but it didn't look like the guy was coming out of his truck to come help me. He just looked like, I don't know, I don't know. Anyways, I'm like looking, trying to get out of the car. So I saw smoke on my left side, so I'm like, okay, I need to get the hell up out of this car. I can't wait on this man. So luckily I have tiny arms. I stuck my arm underneath the airbag and up, and I was trying to feel for the latch. I finally felt the latch, opened the car, got out the car. I ran across the road. Well, I grabbed my phone first because I saw everything in the car was still functioning. The car was actually still on, except it was only one light working because one of the lights got damaged, I think, by the sign. So I grabbed my phone, ran across the road, and then I'm like, oh shit, what the hell just happened? And then the truck driver guy, he was still up there in his truck. I go back across because I'm like, okay, what do I do? You know, I've never been in an accident before. You know, I would think like driving with these crazy California drivers, I would get in an accident, but I've learned how to navigate these drivers. So I'm like, damn, like, who would have thought like getting in an accident, you're gonna be going off the damn road? You know, I would never think that. You know, like when I think about accidents, I'm thinking, oh, somebody hit you or you hit somebody. I'm not thinking, oh shit, like your car could go skidding off the damn road. Anyways, ran back to towards the car. I called my uncle, you know, I told him, and he's like, call the police, blah blah blah. You know, I'm like in shock, because to be honest, I thought that once I saw that sign, I thought it was the end. So when I come back, I'm like kind of in shock a little bit, like what the hell. I'm looking around, I'm like, oh shit, I'm not injured, but I saw the 2 scratches on my arm, and I was like, how did I get scratched, you know, because nothing in the car was damaged. So then I look back in the car, I look at the keys. I know the car was still working though. So, but I look at the keys, and the part where you push the buttons, that part was destroyed. It was completely destroyed. I left it in there because I'm like, I need the lights on the car, which was only one light. I looked at the trunk area, the trunk was up. I was in these bushes, okay? And you know Florida got the weird critters and stuff. I was being bitten up by these huge mosquitoes, and I know they were like this big because when I was in the ambulance I saw what they looked like, and they were like this big of like a mosquito. These huge mosquitoes were biting me up. I have bite marks all over. Not just that, I was seeing cobwebs in the freaking bushes. I'm like, how does spiders get out here, right? Like, it was wet, it was itchy, you know, it was dark, it was no lights on the road, like, so the only thing I had was my one headlight. So it was very scary, and I called the police. Then my cousin was like, call an ambulance. You know, we all have that fear of calling ambulances because they charge your arm and a leg, but I'm like, you know what, I do have health insurance, so let me go ahead and call this ambulance. I felt fine though, but I was still in shock, so I don't really know what the heck I was thinking by not calling the ambulance right away. Called the ambulance. The next thing I saw was there was this car that, oh, by the way, the truck driver had driven off after, I guess, they saw that I was okay. I don't know what's with this truck driver, why like they never came out the car to come check and see if I was okay. I don't know, maybe they don't want to be found by the police. Who knows. Next thing I know, the cars, there's another car that like stopped ahead of me, and then I saw the guy running towards me as the ambulance was coming, and he was just checking to make sure I was okay. And I was thankful because I'm like, at least you check. Like, this truck driver, I mean, I know he saw me get out of the car, he saw me run across the street and run back towards the car, like, and then he decided to drive off. But I'm just like, was a lot that happened in like a 20-minute time span. Next thing I saw was the police were there, the ambulance came, they were asking me questions, and I was answering the questions fine. I felt fine. I was itchy. I kept telling them I was itchy. I remember that. And then I looked at my arm and I saw these burn marks. I was like, what the hell? And then he was telling me it was the airbags. And I was like, oh. But then I saw that right on my elbow, it was building up to like a water bump. It was a huge water bump on my arm, and I saw it like after I left the hospital. That's when it got like huge. They had gave me a bandage thing, but I took it off because it was a water bump. Next thing I know, I had to pop the, I went to the when I was at the rental car place to go, you know, give them back the keys and let them know what happened. Went in the bathroom and I popped the water bump because it was so huge. But it turned into a sore. And then on my arm, well, not a sore, but it just took my skin off basically. And so I'm gonna give you guys a warning real quick. If you don't want to see this, just put your eyes away from the camera. I do have 2 marks from the accident, from the airbags. So on my wrist, right there, on my wrist, I hurt my arm. And then on my other wrist, this was where the water bump was. And it doesn't hurt or nothing, it's just skin, I guess, from the water bump. But all in all, I'm so thankful that that's the only thing I got from it. After all of that, I just want to say, like, I know we hear the saying that life is short a lot of the times, but you don't really completely understand what that means until you are in a life-death situation. In an instant, anything could happen. What is he doing? Ugh. Sorry guys, this is what happens when you're, let me lock my car door. parked out and stuff. I don't know what he's doing. Like, it wasn't my time yet, but it just made me really realize that life is super short. And it was crazy because in the moment where I thought that it was the end, everything was done, when I saw the sign and I thought like I was gonna be gone, in that moment you start thinking about all the shit in your life that good or bad, right? And I want to say, in that moment, I know in the movies, when you watch the movies and they're like, oh, you know, it's when you're on like your deathbed or something is when you start thinking about the stuff that you care the most about. That's absolutely true. In that moment, I only was thinking about the stuff that I cared most about, like the people I care most about. And I was thinking like, oh my god, I didn't accomplish everything I want to accomplish yet. But at the same time, in the moment, at the same time, like, I was okay with death. Like, I know it's weird to say now, but I was okay with it because I don't have any regrets, because at least I know if I was to pass at that moment, I would have passed knowing that, you know, I've treated people well, you know, I've made any you know, bad things I've done in my past, in my teenage years, whatever the case may be. I feel like I've came back from that. I felt like, you know, I wouldn't have had any regrets if that was my last day on this earth. Like, I didn't have any regrets in that moment. I just want to say, if you're a person who at this point of your life, you're living a life of regrets, you're doing things and things aren't working out right, so you're doing more bad things, you know, it's not too late to make peace. You know, while you're still breathing, like, you can make peace with anything you want to make peace with. And so I was thankful in that moment. Like, after everything happened, I was okay with dying if that was the case, and I was okay with everything because I felt like I'd be dying a peaceful death, if that makes sense. The only thing though, when everything, like, when the car finally stopped and I was thinking like, am I dreaming? Am I still here? The only thing that made me think that I'm still here is because I've always visioned having like a little girl, and I don't have her yet. So I don't think God would take me yet. So in that moment, at the end of the whole crash, that's what I was thinking, because I was like, am I dreaming? Like, am I still here? Like, even this past 2 weeks, like, I've taken a mental break a little bit, and I've been thinking some of the times, like, is this real? Like, pinch me. Like, did I really survive that accident? I can see I'm still here, and I hope I'm not in some alternate universe or something, because there is a lot more things I want to accomplish. And while I say I would have been at peace, I still would like to accomplish some of those other things before, you know, I fall off the face of the earth. And like I said, if you're someone who is, you know, not living your dreams, if you want to make moves and you're too afraid to do them, like, just do it. You know, like, life is so short. And the crazy thing about life too is, while you're here being so afraid to do stuff because you're afraid of maybe what other people may think or whatever the case may be, when you leave this earth, everyone's gonna carry on with their life. Like, you may think, I mean, don't get me wrong, there will be people, like maybe your parents or close friends and family, who will take it harder, but after a while, everyone's gonna carry on with life, because that's the circle of life. So while you're still here, like, don't sit down working a job that you're miserable at and doing nothing about it. You know, maybe you're in an environment that's bad for you, you know, like, get out that environment, or at least take steps towards getting there. Like, nothing's going to happen overnight, whether it takes you 1 year or 10 years. As long as, like, you're working towards it, you can be at peace with, you know, if tomorrow was your last day or whatever the case may be. Like, I just want the people who watch my videos to not live a life of regret, because just me being in that situation, seeing my life flash before my eyes, it made me really realize that I'm truly at peace with where I am in life. Like, if I didn't think I was at peace with everything before, I know now, because like when you're in that moment, all you can think about is all the good stuff. I mean, you think about the bad too, but then you also think about, okay, did you like resolve those bad things? Like, we've all had a past where it might not have been all sunshine, right? But as long as you've made peace with whatever that is, then I think you can have a peaceful life and a peaceful death, or whatever the case may be. One of the crazy thing is, back in January, I had a freaking nightmare, right? I had a nightmare of someone dying, and then at the end of it, I remember I was sleeping, I was in my dream nightmare, like I said, and then the person comes. Well, I don't really know who was dying, but anyways, a person came sitting on my couch, and my bed was next to my couch, and they were just sitting there staring at me. And I remember waking up and I was crying, because I thought that meant like I was gonna lose that person. I've actually prayed about it to God, you know, please don't take this person out my life. You know, I'm not gonna say who it is, but I prayed to God to like not take this person, and I'm like, I'd rather be taken, right? Because I don't know how to deal with like death and stuff. I'm not like a super emotional person, so I don't know how to deal with that type of stuff. So I actually prayed to God not to take this person, and I rather them take me. And so I remember, even like at the end of the accident, I was thinking like, was this God like answering my prayer but just not taking me, you know? Like, and I'm hoping that that's the case, right? I really am. You know, like, life is super short, like I said, and you never know when it's your time. So just make sure that like you're living your best life, you're living life to your best abilities, you're pursuing your dreams. Even if it's gonna take you 10 years, 20 years, just make sure that you're working towards the stuff that you want to work towards, and don't live like being miserable or being unhappy. Like, that's nowhere to live, no way to live. So that's why I wanted to make this video. I just want to say how thankful I am, and you know, with God's willing, I will continue making my weekly videos. I want you to sit, and as you're watching this video, like, do you feel like you're at peace with everything in your life? Do you feel like you're, you know, living life to the best of your ability? Are you working towards your goals? Like, and if you're not doing those things, start doing it today. Please do. Life is so short. Enjoy every precious moment, and always work towards whatever it is that brings you happiness, whether that's moving to a new city, whether that's becoming a doctor, whether that's just traveling the world, whatever the case may be. Like, do those things that make you happy, and you will live a happily ever after, you know, even when your day comes. So thank you guys once more, and I will see you in my next video.